Now I've showed you all this once before, but I'm going to show you again. I am adding spacer shims to the underside of my migratory lids to create proper bee space. And I want to show this video again just to remind you all again. I find it very, very important to have the proper bee space, especially down here in the south where we have small hive beetles real bad. I don't know how bad they are up north, but I don't think as bad. But man, any little bit of space in the hive that you get that the bees can't get to, but the beetles can, you get a mess on your hands. So with your standard migratory cover, it lays on top of your boxes, and it's only to the bottom of the cover from the top of your frames is only 1/8 of an inch. Now, bees can't get in there, but I promise you beetles can. What you'll find when you pop the migratory cover off the hive is along the top of every frame, you'll see something kind of like this. Now this is wax, but you'll see along the top of every frame little lines of propolis down either side of the frame. And the reason the bees have done that is because they're trying to fill that space to keep it to where the beetles can't get in there, because the bees can't get in there, so they can't use it. So they're going to try to pack it off to where they can't use it, and nothing else can use it either. So they want to fill it up so the beetles can't get in. The other thing they do is if the beetles get up on top of the frames, the bees will start trying to put propolis up there to trap those beetles in to where they can't get back out. Now that's all well and good if you never take the migratory cover back off, but every time you pop the cover off, you mess up all that work the bees did. So I find it just better off to not allow that space to exist. So what I've done is, because again that was 1/8 of an inch, the bee space is 3/8 of an inch, so now I've added 1/4 inch shims right here. So 1/4 inch plus 1/8 is going to give you that 3/8 of proper bee space that you need, so the bees will be able to get up over the top of the frames and be able to access every bit of this hive. So you shouldn't get that sticking to the top of the frames. Now you might still see some propolis or a little bit of beeswax packed in there, but it shouldn't be like it is now. And you definitely know that the bees are able to parole it, and that is what's important. Like I said, it's to maintain the bottom of that bee space. Now when you think about stacking multiple boxes, the way that adds up is that your frames hang to where your bottom bar of your frame, the bottom of your bottom bar to the bottom of the box, is 1/4 inch. And so when you set that box on top of another box, on that other box you had 1/8 of an inch from the top of the frame to the top of the box, so now you've got again that same 3/8 of an inch. So that's kind of where that adds up. It took me a while to wrap my head around that when I started building my own boxes, but it's very simple. You just have to think about how it all fits together. But anyway, like I said, I'm putting all these shims in. These were a couple of pre-made migratory covers for nuke boxes that I bought from Man Lake. I'm not dogging Man Lake on their quality of these migratory covers. Doesn't matter where you buy a migratory cover. I have yet to find one that comes with spacers like this. When you put on your standard inner cover, outer cover assembly, the inner cover is 3/4 of an inch thick, and it's got a piece of 1/4 inch luan inside of it. So that gives you that 1/4 inch gap as well. And on the inner cover, you get a 1/4 inch either side. But again, that's where it adds up. So when you look at how an inner cover and outer cover combo is designed, you got to ask yourself, why isn't a migratory cover built like that either? My understanding of migratory covers: quick, cheap, simple, easy. Commercial pollinators love them. People who do the beehives a lot love them. They take up less space since they don't overhang the hive, so you can stack hives easier, put more hives per pallet. And I completely understand that. It completely makes sense to me. But adding this 1/4 inch shim like I did here doesn't make this migratory cover any wider. So you can still stack all these nukes along a row side by side by side. They're not overhanging like a traditional outer cover would. The only thing it will do is it'll make this lid ride a 1/4 inch higher on the box. And so let's see, if you were going to stack, I don't know, 4 boxes high on a pallet, you're a whole inch taller than you were. So it's really not, not a big change in the grand scheme of things. Certainly something workable. The other thing I'll do on this lid, I'm not going to flip it over because I'm bored, but the other thing I'll do, of course, is going to staple a screen on the underside. The screen, and this hole is where a feed jar will sit in there, so the screen will support the feed jar. I showed you guys that in a video before. I'm doing this to all of my lids that I'm building now. Like I said, these were a couple that were left over from when I first got started, and I was just buying equipment rather than building it just in the interest of time. But now I've got it all set up, and I figured out how to build my own. So I'm going back and taking the stuff that I bought that wasn't set up the way I like, and basically upgrading it more or less to make it the way I want it. So like I said, just wanted to show this to you guys again. Sorry if you find it monotonous, but I cannot preach to you enough the importance of bee space. And something like this, real simple little upgrade. I made these strips. I just took a piece of 3/4 inch thick wood and just ripped off 1/4 inch strips. Simple as that. and then I'm just nailing them on. I've got my stapler, or stapling them on. I got my air stapler, so just run them down low, pop, 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 run them along. And over time, the beads will come along this groove, and they'll put propolis on there to seal that up tight. You just need to make sure when you go to pry these back off, as a beekeeper, that you put your hive tool into the right gap, because you stick your hive tool right in this gap, you're going to peel your spacer off. So, you know, you'll figure that out. Anyway, like I said, just want to share it again. Questions, comments, let me know. Subscribe. Appreciate it. So here it is, just again with the screen stapled on. What I do is I take this block of wood, which is just rough cut, big enough that I know it'll cover that hole, and then I'll grab my screen here, place the block of wood on the corner, hold it together like that, and then grab the clippers and just go around the edge to cut out the squares. So I'm going to cut out a bunch of squares real quick. Got a big pile. So anyway, yeah, then I've just got a pile of screens, and lay a screen on here, hit it in the corners first, make sure it's square. And then bam. You know, it's probably overkill, but I want to make sure it's good and strong, because when you flip this over, the jar sits down in here, and the jar of sugar water is resting on that screen. So I want to make sure it's strong enough to hold it up and suspend it. But anyway, like I said, just want to show you guys again. You know, the important thing in this video is not how I staple on the screens. It's how I put on these 1/4 inch spacers to make sure that I maintain proper bee space.